Hi guys, in this video we're exploring Hitler's control and consolidation of Nazi Germany from the Germany topic in your exams. Let's jump in.
Between 1933 and 1934, the Nazis managed to assert their control even further over Germany and consolidate their power. Displayed on your screen now are the many ways the Nazis managed to achieve this. We're going to go through all of these today, including the February 1933 Reichstag Fire, the Enabling Act of March 1933, the introduction of the Gestapo in April 1933, the May 1933 banning of trade unions, the Concordat that Hitler and the Catholic Church signed in June 1933, the banning of all political parties except the Nazis in July 1933, the Night of the Long Knives in June 1934, and the death of President Hindenburg in August 1934. Let's begin with the Reichstag Fire of February 1933. On the 27th of February, the Reichstag building was burned down. The communists were blamed for starting the fire, as Dutch communist Van der Lubbe was found in the building at the time of the fire. As Chancellor of Germany, Hitler responds by banning communists from parliament and imprisoning their leaders, which prevents their campaigns ahead of the March 1933 election that Hitler calls. Hitler announces the country is in danger from communists, which scares people off from voting for them, and causes them to vote for the Nazis instead. Hitler declares a state of emergency using Article 48 of the Weimar Constitution. This gives him emergency powers to control the threat to national interests. The Nazis censor newspapers, personal letters, and phone calls. Democracy in Germany is now coming to a complete end. On the 23rd of March 1933, the Enabling Act is passed. It was passed by a majority vote of 441 to 94. This gave Hitler the right to pass laws without the Reichstag's approval for 4 years. This entirely removed the Reichstag as a source of opposition to Hitler and increased his control and consolidation over Germany. In April 1933, the Gestapo is introduced. Hitler wanted to make Germany a totalitarian state with complete control over people's lives. He was prepared to use terror and violence to make people conform to the rules of the Nazis, and he did this through the Gestapo, a secret police force. They would interrogate suspected criminals very harshly and imprison people without the right to a fair trial. The Gestapo were supported by the SS under the leadership of Heinrich Himmler. The following year, concentration camps began to appear in Nazi Germany, and of course, as we know, some of these were turned into death camps. In June 1933, Hitler makes an agreement with the Catholic Church. Hitler saw Christianity as a threat to the Nazis because they emphasized peace, and he saw religion as a threat to loyalty in Germany. There were 45 million Protestants and 22 million Catholic Christians in Germany in 1933. Hitler agreed with the Pope that he would stay out of the runnings of the Catholic Church if the Church did not intervene with political matters in Germany. However, Hitler soon goes against his promise. This is because he still views the Church as a serious threat to Nazi success. And so the Old Testament is banned in religious services. 800 pastors of the confessional church are sent to concentration camps. Catholic schools are suppressed, and Catholic newspapers banned in Germany. However, the church put up a strong battle continuously over the coming years, and in 1937, Hitler returns control of the church back to them. But once again, the church must promise not to interfere in political matters. Hitler was unsuccessful in controlling religion in Germany. He failed to uphold his side of the Concordat, thinking the church would not prevent him from taking over control. However, the church put up a serious fight, and Hitler returned control of the church. The loyalty of people to the church continued throughout the Nazi era. Catholic attendances actually increased substantially during World War II. By July 1933, democracy is completely out the window in Germany, as all parties, apart from the Nazi Party, are banned nationally. Germany is now a one-party state. Now let's look at the Night of the Long Knives in June 1934. After Hitler becomes Chancellor, he wants to remove the SA completely to secure his dictatorship and reduce the risk of rebellion. The SA members were very loyal to their leader, Ernst Röhm, and Hitler viewed this as a threat and a risk of mutiny. And so, on the Night of the Long Knives, Hitler orders the SS to murder 400 SA members, including the leader, Röhm. Other threats were also exterminated. For example, the former Chancellor von Schleicher was also killed. And so the Night of the Long Knives destroyed many serious potential threats to the Nazi regime. When President Hindenburg dies in August 1934, Hitler declares himself jointly President, Chancellor, and head of the army. Members of the armed forces now had to swear an oath of allegiance not to Germany, but to Hitler himself. And this completes the Nazis' control and consolidation over Germany. Let's go through those key phrases to use in your exam for a top band answer. The Nazis consolidated their power following Hitler's appointment as Chancellor by establishing new legal powers for Hitler, eliminating opposition, and intimidating the public to maintain control. Hitler used the atmosphere of panic following the Reichstag Fire to his advantage, declaring a national emergency due to the threat of communism, and persuading Hindenburg to sign the emergency decree for the protection of the German people. This decree ended the democratic features still present from the Weimar Republic era, and gave the Nazis a legal basis for the prosecution and oppression of any opponents, while removing the freedom of speech and the right to trial before imprisonment. The Night of the Long Knives also played a crucial role in the consolidation of Nazi power by removing crucial enemies of Hitler. It stamped out all potential opposition within the Nazi party by murdering key members of the SA, including their leader Ernst Röhm, and sent a powerful message to the party about Hitler's ruthlessness and brutality, and his ability to act above the law without consequence. Finally, the transformation of Germany into a totalitarian police state ensured that the Nazis had total control over every aspect of the lives of German people. The Nazis installed fear and terror into the German public through the use of the SS, Gestapo, local wardens, and concentration camps. This made people accept the new rules out of fear. However, it is also important to note that many conformed due to their genuine support of Nazi policies, and not only out of fear. Now let's go through some common exam questions on Nazi control and consolidation. A short question might be, how did the Nazis use the Reichstag Fire to consolidate and extend their power over Germany? So for this question, focus on two themes. Firstly, Hitler used the fire to turn voters away from communism and increase support for the Nazis instead. And the second theme is that he used the fire to install Article 48, giving him emergency powers to increase his control and consolidation. A longer question might be, the Enabling Act was the most significant part of Nazi consolidation of power. Discuss. So this question is a factor question, where you can bring in the Enabling Act as your first point, and then bring in other factors that we've discussed today. And finally, how significant was the Night of the Long Knives in Hitler's consolidation of power? So for this question, talk about the impact of the Night of the Long Knives, but make it clear you understand this was not the only factor. There were many different factors that occurred which caused the Nazis to increase their control and consolidation. And this brings us to the end of this topic on Nazi Germany. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video.